The Maidens are a staple point in the series of RWBY as they are extremely important people throughout the entire series. We know the Fall Maiden is Cinder Fall, kind of a coincidental name, don't you think? The Winter Maiden, I believe, is now Winter Schnee, but it was Penny Polendina at one point, and the other one was Freya. And I believe it's the Spring Maiden that is Raven Bronwyn. And today I want to talk about who is the Summer Maiden. Now, there is a few characters I personally believe it could be that we've already met in the series, but overall I do think that it's probably a new character that will be introduced, and I will talk about a little bit of how I think they could look and like some of the powers they have. But I'm just going to talk mainly in this video about characters we've already met throughout the series that it could be. And with that said, if you enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a like, hit that big red subscribe button for more content like this, and let's hop right into the video. So the first character we're going to be covering today is none other than Summer Rose. Now, I personally have a hard time believing that Summer Rose is still alive because of Red Like Roses 2. It's kind of like a conversation between RWBY and Summer where they're basically talking and Summer's apologizing for kind of having her life in vain and not being able to come back. And because of that, I don't believe that Summer is still alive. However, if she is still alive, it's a pretty decent possibility that she could be the Summer Maiden. It's not like a really great possibility. It's not something I personally believe, but I have seen other people making theories on it. And if you guys want me to make a theory about it in the future, go ahead and let me know. That'd be interesting to go over. But overall, I do think Summer could be the Summer Maiden, and that could be why she didn't come back when they were a child, is because they put her into hiding so that Salem wouldn't find her, because we all know that Salem does know about Summer Rose. We don't know if Summer was killed by Salem or what really happened, but we do know that Summer is assumed dead, so it could be a very big possibility that Summer is in fact dead or the Summer Maiden. Either way, it's been a really big factor in RWBY's character, and her entire way that she lives life is that she loved her mother and she wants to live right by her. And yeah, so let me know if you guys think Summer could be the Summer Maiden, and we'll move on to the next character. Alright, so the next character I want to talk about is kind of like a crackpot theory, because I don't believe it at all, but I've seen several theories and I know people that want this to be the case, and that would be Callie Belladonna. Now, Callie Belladonna, the only reason that it's even kind of a theory that she could be one of the maidens is because Winter, who's related to Weiss, has become a maiden, and Raven, who's related to Yang and RWBY, has become a maiden. So it would just make sense that somebody related to Blake was a maiden. However, I don't believe this at all, because Callie has no idea about the whole situation. She's until Volume 8 where they were introduced to it, or was it Volume 7? I actually don't remember when the whole world was told about it, but I think it was Volume 8. Yeah, I don't personally believe it, because she seems to have no combat abilities, she seems to have no magic, no idea about any of the things when we saw her in the show. So like, it's a possibility, but I'd put it at less than 1% chance of actually being a thing. And seeing her in the story would be pretty cool. I'd actually really like to see her in the story again, but it's just something that I don't personally believe. As yes, we've seen Yang and RWBY have somebody that's a maiden related to them through Raven and Weiss Winter, but it's just not something that makes sense in the overall arcing story. So if you guys believe Callie could be the Summer Maiden, let me know in the comments below, and then we'll move on to the next character. Now, the next character I want to talk about is actually a Before the Dawn exclusive character in Professor Xanthe Rumpel. I want to say that's how you pronounce your name, but please correct me if I'm wrong. But she is a possibility in my eyes, and I haven't seen this actually talked about by anybody else, but I think she's a possibility because of how her semblance works. Her semblance actually modifies molecules in a similar way to what you would expect magic to modify stuff as it turns stuff to gold just by her touching it. Now, it's very interesting because she did change Neptune's jacket to gold just by touching it. And that seems more like a magical ability than a semblance, you know? And it is stated to be her semblance, but that might just be a cover because nobody else knows about the maidens in that area besides Theo and probably Rumpel, but we don't know 100% if that's true. We don't know if Rumpel actually knows about the maidens unless she is in fact a maiden. But that also wouldn't make sense that she wouldn't use her maiden powers when she was under the control of Jax Asturias, unless he didn't know about the maiden powers and she was able to somehow suppress them. But I don't know, it's a small possibility, but I do believe that she could be the Summer Maiden, and she's probably my most, like, she's the one I think is most likely out of the currently existing characters. And there's one more character I want to talk about that is pre-existing, and yeah, before I get into that character, let me know if you think it could be Professor Rumpel, and let me know what you think of her, because she's a very interesting character, and she's got a really cool semblance. So yeah, again, let me know what you guys think about her, and if she could be the Summer Maiden in you guys' eyes. And let's get on to the next character. So the final character I want to cover in today's video before I get into what a Summer Maiden new character could look like is going to be Ruby Rose. Now, you guys may be thinking, Ruby Rose? What? No way she's the Maiden. She would know that, or somebody would have said something. However, I do believe that there's a slight possibility that Summer could have been the Maiden and then she died and then passed on the Maiden powers to Ruby. And that would only be possible for that to have happened through Red Like Roses Part 2, which I mentioned earlier. Really interesting story told throughout that song, and it's a really good song. I suggest checking it out. If I can find a way, I'll link it up in the cards below. If not, then I'll leave a link down in the description below. But Red Like Roses Part 2 basically goes through a conversation between Summer and Ruby, where Summer is talking about how she wishes she could be there for Ruby, and she regrets dying and not being able to help her daughter see a good life with two loving parents. And it's just kind of interesting, and it leads into a topic that's like, Summer, if she was the Summer Maiden, would have passed on her powers to Ruby through that song, and that would be like their conversation of when she's passing on the powers. Now, the one issue I do see with that is Ruby was really young and she wouldn't be able to actually have that cognitive understanding of what was going on, so she wouldn't be able to have that conversation. But that could just be like a filler conversation that they just said was going on, when it's actually just Summer passing on the maiden powers and explaining to her what was going on. But Ruby also could have been too young to inherit the maiden powers, as we've heard from Ozpin that, or if the person is too young to inherit the powers, they'll go on to somebody random. And that's why I personally don't believe that the Summer Maiden could be Ruby. But it is a possibility, and it would be really cool to see Ruby as a maiden. And overall, I don't think that Ruby is the Summer Maiden because she would know about it, or Oz and Crow would know about it. It just doesn't make sense in the overall story for her to be the Summer Maiden. At least as of right now. She could become the Summer Maiden in the future. Just right now, it just doesn't make sense for her to be the Summer Maiden. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about Ruby being the Summer Maiden in the comments below. And we're going to get on to the kind of original character that I think the Summer Maiden could look like. I actually found some cool fan art that I think the Summer Maiden could look like. I'll be linking the people's descriptions and stuff down in the description below, and let's get right into that design and that character. So the fan art that I found that could very well be the Summer Maiden was actually made by Equestrian Marine on DeviantArt. I'll have the art up on screen for a second, but then I'm going to switch to something else so that they don't copyright me if they get mad for me using their art. But, I mean, I do really like this art that I showed, and I really think that the Summer Maiden would be really cool if they looked like it. However, they would need a close range weapon, and they would need like an actual Ruby weapon. And I do really like this art. Go ahead and check out Equestrian Marine. They're a really good artist. They've got some really cool art. Yeah, I'm not going to get too much into the details. I do think that overall it would be really cool if they looked like this. And yeah, something that I would just really enjoy seeing is kind of like a long range or kind of like a sniper-ish design with a close range weapon. It'd just be super cool, and I'd really enjoy that. But if you guys did enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a like, hit that big red subscribe button for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.